Boba Fett.
There we go.
Yeah. So it was crazy.
There we go.
Hey, it's my Star Wars life. It's been a while since we've been doing Mando Mondays, and then we had a break for a couple of conventions and stuff. So now we're back. All four of us are back, actually.
Yeah,
look at that. We've
full squad.
We've got the whole squad together. Which
the Bad Batch.
Okay,
I'm Omega.
So you're our Omega. You're our Omega.
She's important.
I guess.
I disappear.
I'll be Echo because I'm the useful techie.
Yeah, he's Echo, the useful techie. I'm Hunter.
I'm definitely the dumb one.
So you're Rekka.
Rekka.
I just want to good soldiers follow orders.
Oh,
and I have to kill you all, so
I don't want to die. I don't want to. This week we talk the Star Wars Galaxy, the Galactic Cruiser Hotel thing. It's interesting. We remember Star Wars Rebels, a little Bad Batch. We talk a little Eclipse, and we pay tribute to some people we lost this week. So, or this last couple of weeks since we've been here. So, the full episode, lots of stuff, in a time where there's not really a lot of Star Wars content. So,
there's still something.
There is. So, just watch the episode.
You're listening to the Mobcast Network.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life, a look at news, reviews, and other happenings from a galaxy far, far away. Here are your hosts, Scotty and JD.
Welcome to My Star Wars Life. Woo! I do this every time.
You're like my dog.
Right? Yeah, but did I abuse you?
Yeah, vocally.
I just want people to be aware of the show I do.
Yes, I'm never looking at you when you start, so it's like fireworks.
Oh, I got you.
And I'm on edge anyway this week. There were like gunshots at my neighbors the other day, or it super sounded like it. I think
and then you had like a car accident 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, my heart is still like.
I got you. I'm your American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by our Jedi Master.
Hello.
God, I forgot you have a new one. I forgot what the new one was.
Oh, it's long.
All right, so
yeah, it is.
So I'll let you add it. But first
I got to remember what I told you once
he was
anyway.
Going to do something else when he put his hand under the table.
You are the the Den Boba Fett's crotch.
That is correct.
You are the Larry David of Tatooine.
Yep. I am Shmi.
You're Shmi. The man who puts man into Mandos.
That's enough for now.
And then you had a new one you wanted to say.
Yeah, I had a new one, but I've lost where it was.
Right, so what's that about? Co-host himself, Drew.
Yes!
Yeah. He's so hyphenated. Can we just call him Harry Potter?
Nice.
I don't even get that.
Okay.
In the back, in the back, we have producer Caleb.
Hello there.
Gellman.
I'm in a trolly mood.
Yeah, you.
I don't know why you're in a trolley mood.
This podcast brought to you by Trolleys.
Trolleys.
Those commercials are weird, where the worms crawl up some dude's nose. All I can think about is like, they took him over.
And that's how they're going. It's like the stuff.
Yep, that's exactly right.
If you like our podcast, you can rate and subscribe to us on any fine podcast app. There's not a thing for that. I don't know why you keep doing that.
Hit the button. It's over here somewhere.
There's no button for this one.
On some
clearly he doesn't watch the show.
No.
I was on it.
He was reversing YouTube and Pornhub.
Yeah. Right. Ooh. You know, I should start uploading these to Pornhub.
You should. You might as well.
Just to see what our numbers would be. Yeah. I'm just curious on that.
YouHub.
But we're on any fine podcast app. Please rate and subscribe to us. It does help. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/MyStarWarsLife. And you can subscribe to us on YouTube.
That's what I was doing.
That's for the YouTube. We have a subscribe button for the YouTube.
Right, that's where I thought we were when we were talking earlier.
No, that was reviews.
Reviews.
Oh, well, yeah, you review down here.
No, that's comments.
Well, there's also like and dislike.
No, I think dislike went away.
No, the button still exists. You just can't see the numbers
unless you're the owner.
Don't do that one. That would be silly. Don't dislike us.
Dislike us.
Yeah.
I already have self-esteem issues.
Don't
do that.
YouTube.com/Mobcast Network before I forget that.
Yeah.
So, yay.
Pornhub could work if we go with Drew's new nickname, which is James J. Bullock.
Jim J. Bullock. There's only one of him, and he's with us all this week.
O'Brien is funny. Hello, John.
There it was.
Yeah, there was James J. Bullock. Yeah,
J. Bullock.
J. Bullock.
Which is your new Star Wars name, I guess?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars names, there's something interesting that happened to lots of people who are not us. Sorry, my computer started going weird.
Because the world don't move.
I mean, isn't that just like everybody's life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's my life. My kids have been listening to it.
All right.
Do not squirt me with the imaginary. What happened?
I don't know. Just the computer froze up.
Well, that sounds delightful.
Oh, it does it every episode.
Yeah.
For both shows.
Well, that's because it's an
and
Apple.
here's where we insert technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's what that will go
It's
in.
definitely blame Apple.
Now I'm just trying to shut it off so I can reset it.
Part of the problem with that computer is it cannot be updated.
Right? No, trust me. I looked at when you loaned it to me permanently, which I think more is like a monkey, like a curse situation. Like, yeah,
It's definitely the ring.
I was like, "Do you want it? Sure, not a problem. Here's the computer, Scotty." And then I touch it, and he runs off and goes, "No, take backsies."
So I may have an alternative. Yesterday, when I was going through that back room, things that have been in that back room.
You found a 486 DX2.
I found an old laptop that is twice that size and probably 3 times as heavy. You could probably use that. There's no telling what's on it. It's literally nobody's looked for it in 4 years.
Oh, poor laptop.
That sounds like very disturbing. This is the beginning of a Joel Schumacher film.
So what I'm trying to say is that since we're now back on track, folks got to visit the Star Wars Hotel,
Oh, good. I have a whole story.
the Galaxy Cruise, the Halcyon.
Yeah, the Halcyon.
You can start. I will say this about it. It is $6,000, and I was like, that's a lot of money. And the closer we got to this, I was like, is it worth it? And then last night to research for this episode, I watched one of the previews from the guest.
Was it a guest preview or was it a press preview?
Guest preview.
Okay, interesting. So I watched a 3-hour press preview.
Right.
And now what it was, though, in fairness, it's one of the best reviews, whoever these people are, I can't
Right.
remember their name. But they didn't go in with any bias. It was just straightforward. Like, they showed you the room. They're like, oh, here's the room. The guy was 6'3". He's like, well, I fit in the cubby hole. Doesn't look like it. And then he climbed in. Like, it was in-depth for 3 hours.
Right.
They showed the story. And the reason I did this is because, to me, I started getting a weird vibe from it. Mm-hmm. $6,000 to go experience the Star Wars thing. I wanted to make sure for 2 days. I wanted to see what all, like, to me, I don't care about the spoilers. I'm going to experience it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's when, from that research, I think from the press side of things, it is very much a story on rails, like very much on rails. So the immersion factor is very limited to the amount of how far you're willing to go.
Right, right.
And then the
Yep.
people around you. Not the cast members,
Right.
but I mean literally other guests.
Right.
And then the experiences based on what they showed. I mean, the food looked great, all this kind of stuff, but it was very gimmicky and very, like I said, it was like on rails. It wasn't like a role play experience. It wasn't like fully immersive experience. It was like light. Everything was just very light.
So what I saw was a little different.
Yeah. Now that's the press. So now that I've started seeing customer reviews, it's a different.
So this is, and this was also they were invited. They have it was a couple. They have a Disney Parks blog or YouTube channel or something. And so Kayla was telling me this this morning when we were talking about it. Apparently, that's who Disney invited for this stuff.
Yep.
They didn't invite Star Wars fans. They invited these Disney Parks.
Yep.
Which I think is fair because it's a Disney Park amenity.
Absolutely.
So
That's what these people were.
right, and so.
Yeah.
And this was like a 30-minute one, I think, or an hour. It wasn't very. But I didn't finish it because I'm going to tell you why I didn't finish it because it got to a point where like, okay, I feel like now I'm bought in enough that I don't want to be spoiled. And so because they flipped me,
Yeah.
really good.
That's interesting.
So it's the immersive stuff. Like there's one of the guys with them. You know, you have the genie bands.
Yep.
And he used his genie band to touch one of the side panels, and then he gave him like you have to put in this code, and he didn't have the code. And then while they're having dinner, he gets contacted by someone on the because you got your phone,
The data pad.
your data pad, and so he's like, "Hey, can you help me out? Here's the code to that. What because you seem like a cool dude. You help me out." And so he goes and he puts the code in, gives him access to the engine room, which is off limits. And so when they go on the tour, they get to the engine room, and the tour guide's like, and this is the engine room, not really available to our guests. And they just snuck off to start their adventure in the engine room. And they get in the engine room, and the cast member's like, are you supposed to be in here? And they start ad-libbing, and it's great.
No, the performances are hands down was what I was going to say. It's amazing.
And so I'm like, this is what I want. I know I'm not going to get 24/7 of this, but at least there's a game involved, and it seems like it's fun.
Well, you could get 48 too, though.
Right, I could get right.
The one of the bigger issues I have too is that having watched it, and I won't spoil it obviously for anyone, but having watched the arc, you do all those little pieces, and then the arc happens in a larger space,
right.
So that everyone has the sort of same outcome. And knowing Disney, like the outcome's probably the same for everyone. It's just your individual experience getting to that outcome is different.
It looks like there's 4 different experiences that you get to have. So that means if you want to do all 4 of them, you have to
spend $24,000.
Yeah.
There's according to them,
wait, is it $6,000? That's a couple though. $6,000 is 2 people.
$6,000 is for a family of 4.
Right, fair enough.
So we're just going. So if you want your whole family to explain it,
I'm not taking those little rats. My kids are sitting there.
I'd have to pick one of the kids to not go, which means that's the one that's going to end up taking care of me when I'm older, and it's going to be bad.
Well, so actually, this is something that came up in our research this morning.
You can get the bigger cabin.
There might be a cabin that's there is a cabin that's 8. Which means you might be able to get a family of 8, but I don't know how that
works. That's $12,000.
Yeah.
I don't have one. Not 1,000. One.
Yeah. No.
I'll give you $1.
No.
So you can at least have $1. I got that in my pocket. I got you, brother.
$5,999 to go.
Yep.
Yeah. Now
GoFundMe.
Now there's only one.
I'd rather OnlyFans it.
OnlyFans?
Yeah. Do it.
And then we can cross promote on Pornhub.
Right.
Yep.
Is JD the bearded Jedi here for your pleasure?
You're right.
No.
It's fine.
I'm just in sync with the.
So you seeing the adventure stuff flipped you?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And also the fun part, they were in cosplay, which is encouraged.
Yeah.
The half of them were in cosplay, half of them weren't, and the guys out of cosplay kind of was like, guys, play.
Well, I mean, and even if you're not in cosplay, they actually sell costumes there when you get there.
Of course,
and they're ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive.
$7,000.
But if you're paying $6,000, I mean,
you might have that pocket change.
So interesting things that I learned from it though is that like if you're in cosplay, you're encouraged. That's all, but you can't leave Batu.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, because Disney, Disney's
'Cause
rules.
Yeah, right. But you're not.
But why would you?
Yeah, well,
you just spent $6,000. I ain't going to Disney World. I'm pretending I'm in Star Wars.
Yeah, I spent $6,000 to stay in the Star Wars universe.
I'm 6,000 Star Wars universe. I'll spend the other 5 to go to Magic Kingdom tomorrow.
There you go.
I mean,
they did tie in the rides, so the rides actually have impact on the narrative, which was very. And there's no spoiler in that, but they do impact the narrative, and it showed it. So I know what they are. But it was very fascinating to watch. Like I saw like almost every activity you could do,
right?
Because this was the press thing, and they ran them through it, and it was all very fun. The best part is the actors,
right?
Yep.
The absolute actors. I had an Imperial that when I was watching that was I literally laughed out loud multiple times. He was genuinely funny and just so smarmy, especially with kids. He was so great with children.
Yeah, I saw some videos with there was like a 5-year-old who decided to just join the First Order and just hung out with this dude.
Oh, he was great.
And he was just like, and so he would just assist the First Order guy. It's like, this is my 5-year-old.
Yeah. And he treated him as an equal.
That's
what was so great.
And I think that's what the 5-year-old got a kick out of it. You're not treating me as a kid. I'm now a member of the First Order. And this is how we get evil.
That's exactly right.
It's all about nurturing. It's all about nurturing.
I liked watching the clip. There's a clip where I guess it's when they first show up, the First Order, and they pull out their flags and everything. This one stormtrooper was struggling to get the flag, and he had to kick it. And
that's fun.
Such great moments, like just unscripted moments that can't happen otherwise.
So what I was saying
Makes you mad.
about what they were speculating this experiences were, they think there's 4. And so there's a Jedi experience, an underworld experience and then a first order and a resistance experience. And so the experience they did was because they were all dressed as resistance, so they just were like, we're resistance, and I'm like, okay, you picked.
So I've seen a little bit of the Jedi stuff,
Right.
And it was really fascinating what
Right.
they did. There was some really cool gimmicks about it, and again, because that band, if you haven't been in a while, but that band does a lot.
Yeah.
So like, it's a lot of tracking. I mean, to open your room, it's data tracking
Right.
for them to have all
it
this
also has
info.
your credit card on it, so you don't have to have you pull out money. You can
Oh,
scan
which
it.
is super dangerous. Trust
Yeah,
me.
but they've been doing that at the park for years.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You type
So
credit
even
card
when
to
you're
it.
walking around Batu, certain things happen when you do that are tailored to the Jedi,
Right.
that are really fascinating little moments. And then I saw the Jedi training and I saw the lightsaber and all those things, and all very neat. Don't get me wrong. For me, I can't justify. I mean, it's not $6,000 for me. That's not fair to say.
Yeah, but
Because I wouldn't be going with my
but,
kids. And
right?
wife.
But like if we
if it was the four of us,
Yeah.
we figure. I think we'd have a good time with it.
probably so.
I think. I think.
Only because we would be in cosplay, nerding out.
Right,
exactly.
the whole
But we
thing.
don't want different experiences, so we wouldn't be with each other.
No, that's true.
No,
But-
I think.
But I think if we go as a group, it's more fun to do just find one that we all want to do.
Right.
No,
Actually, I think if we go as a group, we just decide which experience we want to
Yeah.
have. So we can have it. I'm open for all of them.
Yeah, same.
I'm least interested in the resistance.
Right.
Same.
But
Well, that's okay. No,
I mean, for me, in order would be Underworld, Jedi,
Underworld's 100%.
First order.
First Order, then Resistance, and then But I know you want to
Yeah.
be Jedi, so
Yeah.
it's like.
So my only thing is, if we did, let's hypothetical
Yeah.
here, we all come up with the.
Bubba,
12,
we're talking to you. What
12.50.
Bubba is really? What's the
Bubba,
experience
yeah.
you want?
Yeah, the $1,500, right, per person
person,
or whatever. Just bringing that up. So if that's the case, right, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what you end up deciding to do, and that's your journey, I think even if we all split up,
Right.
you're still going to get. So it becomes a conversation about content at that point. Like,
Yep.
what an incredible experience to have. 3 well-versed, 1 half-assed versed Star Wars fans going through it,
Right.
and then coming back to the other side and being like, "Oh, this was great," and there's going to be overlap,
Right.
Yeah.
That's just
Right.
how it works. Like I said, they say it, but there's like these muster moments where there's like big story arc moments, and it's everybody on the cruise together,
Yeah, like
which
we're-
is like a normal cruise.
Yeah, like we're still going to run into each other and have these moments where we can catch up. But then,
in the long run, regardless of who I want to be, I'm going to have a cape. So it's either going to be a Jedi robe or a Lando cape or a Darth Vader.
So,
cape.
so Danny took the rest of the family to the Ren Fair yesterday.
Yeah.
And I guess when she decided they were going, she Amazoned
Right.
and got like a cloak. It's fixing to be mine. It is straight up.
She doesn't listen to the
it's
show, right?
Anakin's hood and cloak.
Oh, hell yeah.
From
Nice.
like
There you
episode
go.
3. It's
Nice.
Like she put it out. I was waiting for her to go Donna A.S. Requiem. And like I'm like, I've already got the saber. Now I just need like a tunic, maybe some pants, and we're good to go.
Pants are optional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
Again,
pants.
OnlyFans and Pornhub.
Donald Duck Jedi. Let's go. But anyway, no, real quick. So I'm mad hearing this. Mm-hmm. I'm mad because I was a cast member 25 years ago.
yeah,
you would actually no. You could go now.
yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I have the do not rehire
Oh,
tab.
got it.
Oh,
I
when I was
was
set
I was
18.
really pleasantly surprised in all the content I've seen about it, that the not just diversity in terms of races and gender and whatever people identify as, but literally in age.
Mm-hmm.
There was a beautiful bracket of age like running the ranks. So there was
Yeah.
like adults, like really good, solid our age adults, and then there was younger people as well. The one thing that I saw in the regular, like the customer version versus the press version, was like it's like a regular cruise. So there's a steward that walks you to your
Right.
deck and does all that stuff. But the steward's in character the entire time.
Right.
So they're making little side talk and they have a cool data pad and so those little details were lost on the press version because they had so many people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a the group I watched was at lunch, and the lunch is the breakfast and lunch are both
they're
like,
included.
well, everything's it's included.
It's buffet style.
but
Buffet.
but it's like tapas.
Yep.
Yeah,
And so one of the cast members showed up and was at they were filming and they were asking about their device, And so they got a picture of like, well, how do I get this? And what is this? And
Yeah.
and so it was real interesting about how, and clearly they were Star Wars fans, but they're not like us. So they were like, it's from a planet on Earth. You can get it on YouTube.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
right.
no, it's on the HoloNet. It's,
Yeah.
HoloNet, yeah.
We'll just send this to you. It's good.
But you even got to question if those castmates know that kind of stuff.
Right. So it's like, we'll get you a data card. It'll be all right. It's so, But
Did you happen to see anything with Greedo or the
the Greedo lady?
Yeah.
Rhodian?
Yeah, there's
Thank
a
you.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of the word.
There's a Rhodian singer.
Yep.
And
the mask work is incredible.
Yes. No, I did
crazy.
see that.
It's incredible.
Crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It sounded good too.
Right. And
Was that the one with the drummer? The drummer was badass too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, these are the things that I'm like.
I think it's neat. I wish for me that era is not my favorite. Like I'm not. It's my least favorite of any Star Wars in history.
But I agree with you.
And it just reminds me of Canto Bight. So the entire time I'm triggered.
But
so then your cosplay is Karen hair.
Lean in with me. Because
Yes.
so just hold on, just bear with me on this one.
That's a new name.
I too do not like the sequel trilogy. However, I love Rise of the Resistance.
Right.
I think Rise of the Resistance is the best thing that come. Like I suddenly got the sequel trilogy by doing Rise.
Right.
And so I think that feeling, I'm okay. You'll get that, and you're like, so that bullshit happened over there. We're having this experience over here.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Yeah,
Listen,
so-
I just listened. So one of my favorite pieces of music in the entirety of the universe is Rey's theme. I think it's called "The Scavenger," and it's John Williams. He wrote it for Force Awakens. I listen to it a lot, but it makes me emotional because it reminds me of my girls. Like when Finley was born, that music was something that was queued up, and I
Right.
heard it. So there's like this little twinkling. So there are parts of that, like Force Awakens,
Right.
in that era that mean everything to me. Like it's
Yeah.
super emotionally attached. I just can't get into, like, I'm not knocking it. I just can't get into the arc of it. So it's a
Yeah,
little bit more
yeah.
challenging. I'm not saying I wouldn't go. I think what would be fun is that experience could turn my opinion on it.
Yeah.
And I have not done anything in Batu. So I think everybody here has been to Batu but me.
Nope,
Caleb
I have
hasn't
not.
either.
Yeah, Caleb hasn't either. But Caleb loves everything, so it doesn't matter. Here's a new podcast for you.
He's like Mikey from the Life community.
He's like, hey, today we're reviewing The Batman. I loved it. And that was Caleb Loves Everything.
Dude, we should do that. That would be amazing.
They're like
anyway,
1 minute long.
However, I get why they have it here. If we had a Empire era cruise, that would be horrible. Stay in your room.
No, because you're the
Stay in
elite.
your room.
You're the elite.
Elite.
That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
Right.
Even on this cruise, you're considered the elite.
Yeah.
Oh, come
I know.
on.
But so from my understanding though, Iger is the one that flipped that. Originally it was supposed to be post Jedi era, and then Iger was like, nah, it's gotta be in everything's gotta be like Batu, and the whole
Yeah,
space
'cause-
was supposed
yeah,
to be Force
'cause-
Awakens.
yeah.
Or whatever, trilogy era.
Well, because it's just easier to connect everything that way.
Marketing, merchandise.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
The food looked great.
Food looked amazing.
There's both blue and green milk on tap.
Yep, as much as you want.
Yeah.
But it's not from the source. So I don't want it.
No.
No, they have them. They're in the back.
They're in the back.
Just
They're in
like
the back.
Peacemaker.
So my favorite thing is that,
Why have we not recut that all of a sudden?
right there. My favorite thing I saw on there. One of my favorite things was they have an atrium that's open.
Oh, it's brilliant. The simulator?
Yeah, the simulator.
Yeah.
And they're like, and this simulates Batu. So if it's hot in Batu, it's hot here. If it's raining in Batu, it's raining here. And it's just like, oh, it's because it's just fucking outside.
Right. It's because it's a half a mile that way.
So I was like, and I thought that was clever.
Oh, it's super brilliant. And I was like, oh, because I would go a little crazy not being able to see some level. I have to see sunlight. Like it's very important for me.
Yep.
But I'd go a little nuts, but like that was like, oh, that's brilliant. You can
So,
step out. And then I saw some people review that were smokers. Not
Right.
that it affects anybody here. But they even will escort you out to a spot. I mean, it breaks immersion all the way through, but they'll take you out. Like someone will kind of walk with you, take you outside, let you smoke, and then they'll walk you back in, that kind of stuff. And if you choose to walk away and go ride theme parks and do all that stuff, you literally can space Uber back. They'll meet you at the front and bring you back through.
Oh, that's-
because you have a pin. You have a
Yeah.
special pin that identifies you as
okay.
a ship.
But if
person.
I'm paying this money, I'm not doing.
I ain't
that.
doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not even going. I'm going to go to Batu, do my thing, and get right back on the
Yeah,
ship.
exactly.
I'll get a patch. We'll be fine.
I'm staying in. I'm staying. It'll be good. Yeah, I'm
Get
staying
some
completely
gum
in universe.
And
if I'm-
understand the second day, by the time we're about to leave, I'm going to be asshole.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like, I'll turn Sith.
Jada went really dark on the last day.
Oh boy.
But this thing flipped me, so I'm real excited to go. I wasn't, and then I saw it, and then I got to a point where I was like, I don't want to watch anymore because I want to play.
Yeah, that's good.
And
that's awesome.
so
It still will be different. That's the one upside I heard. Like it's it's a multiple experience.
Like I said, I'm just mad that I had to tell everybody about 101 Dalmatians with Glenn Close instead of like being a Resistance bartender. I don't know.
No, you would have been. There's a character I know exactly who you would have been.
my one concern
At 18,
my one
You'd
concern
have been
is
fine.
that Batu was promised to be the same kind of level of immersion. And
Yep.
I've been twice.
And they don't care, right?
And they're
it's like
all-
having carnies there.
There are some people who play
Yeah.
and some people who don't.
Yeah.
So after a while, after 6 months of cleaning up, so the cleaning staff is not going to be like Bright Suns. And
Right.
so, because they're not. And while I understand, it takes away from the immersion. So now if I'm paying $6,000, I hope to.
so it depends on if conditions are the same they were when I was there.
Right.
If they're doing 6 days a week, 10 to 12-hour days,
Right.
and making
You're going to burn out.
making
Yep.
30 cents more than minimum,
Right.
And that was
they are
something-
No,
not happy
I don't
to
think
be
so.
there.
I don't think so. I actually think that what I saw from the performance of those actors, again, in 2 different versions that I've looked at,
Yeah.
I haven't looked at a ton of stuff. The actors that I saw, the quality of the performance makes me believe that they are probably unionized under some stage scenario because
Yeah.
and watching it, there were break moments, and there's no spoilers in any of this, but like someone might have been leading someone and they're like, oh, we have to check this cargo hold, and it would have been 2 characters together, and they're like, I'm going to talk to him and I'll be right back, and then the door closes in your face, and then they go off and have a break and have a smoke, and
Right.
you keep going about your immersion.
I'm also wondering if they have like 2 crew, like, and they
They have to have
2 on,
multiple.
2 on,
They
2
have
off,
to.
2
Yeah.
on, 2 off.
They have to. There's no way around
it.
Yeah.
So
But
Because they got to flip them. They
Right.
flip them like one day.
Yeah.
It's not even.
So-
I think it's like you check in, you leave one morning, come back the next day, and it's a whole new crew and the whole thing.
So I'm
Pretty neat.
but that's my only kind of real crazy concern. But
and then I mentioned when we were discussing the possibility of why the
You went-
price.
Your camera's down.
Oh. Well, I was discussing price with you earlier and why, possibly, according to some podcasters I was listening to yesterday. They discussed the possibility of preventing trolling and preventing guests from actively
oh yeah,
disrupting.
yeah. So you get the trolls who are just going to ruin it for guests, and then so the $6,000 is kind of keeps people away from doing that.
Yeah, you got to be a fan.
Right.
Sure.
Or you're that troll who's like going to figure out how to give the $6,000 to. I mean,
Right.
it's the ultimate troll. If you can, I don't want to put anything ideas in their minds, but
right.
I mean,
Well,
someone right now is raising money to race that to be the first person to do that on YouTube,
I'm sure.
and so or
Yeah.
TikTok or
wherever.
And
That's the bigger
hopefully they have first order troopers ready to just like
Take
their
'em down.
faces out of that thing. And be like, you need to go.
I'll let Caleb fix his camera while we talk about this
Yeah,
next thing.
go ahead.
So excited for the Galactic Cruise. Hope to take it soon. But moving on. Last week was the 4th anniversary of the last episode of Star Wars Rebels.
Oh, sure was.
Yeah, so Twitter had a whole big thing about Rebels Remembered. So I want to talk about how awesome Rebels is for a minute. Do you have favorite episodes?
Yeah, but my brain's so full of crap nowadays that I have certain I have favorite moments.
We'll
I have
go
moments
we'll
more
go
so
moments.
than
Yeah,
obviously the Obi Wan Maul thing is to me
Yeah.
cinematic. It's cinematic genius. That entire section is some of the best cinema in history.
Right.
But it's straight up Kurosawa. I mean, it is 100%
Yeah,
right.
Kurosawa.
Absolutely.
I also really love. I forget what I can't even remember the guy's name now. What's the big purple dude's name?
Zeb.
Zeb. When Zeb
yeah.
finds his homeworld,
Right.
There's a beautiful shot and some music that is
Maelstrom. Yeah.
Yep.
unreal. I mean, goosebumps just talking about
that's
how good
great.
it was. Little pieces like that. So to me, there's I love that show. It's still my favorite Star
Yes,
Wars
it's my-
content,
my
but
turn.
there's some stuff in there that is transcends Star Wars, and that's been very, very, very rare.
For you?
I enjoyed it. I haven't watched it nearly as much as y'all have.
I haven't seen it in a while,
To
actually.
know, I've watched Twin Sons. That scene of Twin Sons more than probably
Anything.
any other single scene of anything ever.
It's great.
And I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier. Oh, wait, that's Beetlejuice that I've seen many times. Anyway, no, it just that scene is so good. That episode's good.
But no, it's worth that scene because what's great about that scene? I mean, don't get me wrong, the fight's great. But the lead up too, because it's when Maul starts to suss the reason why Kenobi's out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I should leave you out here living like a rat, but there's a reason. And then Obi-Wan just pops up the saber and does the pose, and then gets you're just like,
I'm not talking about the 4 seconds of the fight.
Right.
No, like that whole scene where the discussion.
Everything. That whole sequence.
So good.
Where it's the realization of Maul where he's like,
even on his dying,
and I never had a shot.
Yeah,
like
right.
basically right there at the end, he was like, this was
But it
my
was
fate.
so poetic
Yeah.
and so beautiful and such respect,
And-
warrior to warrior.
Right.
It
And
just
Maul, I think, dies in peace.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Something
that's
that
what I mean. It's so
Yeah.
so samurai. It's just
As opposed to the first time they met where he died in pieces.
Hey! But I'm dumb.
well done.
I bravo.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit for that. I love a lot of moments and I love a lot of episodes. However, I have never seen a show, much less a cartoon, give you a whole episode to grieve the death of another character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So the episode after Kanan dies, spoiler alert, in the 4th season.
Yeah.
So
Jedi Knight and then Doom.
yeah, Doom. Doom is an episode that lets you, as a viewer, grieve along with the Ghost crew, and they split them off in 3. Hera and Chopper go off to grieve in Hera's way, and Chopper trying to console her, and then you find out she loves him, and there's that moment where it's like, I wish I had told him, and you're like, oh well, you did kiss, and then you don't find out she's pregnant until the epilogue.
Yep.
And you're just like, the connections are crazy. Then you got Zeb and Sabine going off to violently, because they're angry.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they're trying. They end up fighting
The different stages.
Yeah, right. And they end up fighting. Nogri. Rook. They end up fighting Rook, and so you have that. And then Ezra goes to he's. For the second time in his life, he's lost a father.
Yep.
Oh, it's so, and he's trying to come to terms with it. And then Kanan may be a ghost wolf, and he doesn't,
Yeah.
No shows let you grieve. They usually people die in the last episode of a season, and then you get the summer and you come back.
Or even the
I
last
think I
episode
can
of
think
a
of
show.
one other.
Sure.
What is it? 10 Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, when we lost John Ritter.
Right.
They had a whole episode with Kaylee Cook, whatever, and Married with Children. I can't think of anybody's name. Peggy Segal.
Peggy Segal.
Yeah.
Like, I know there was a whole...
Katie Segal.
Katie Segal.
Peggy's Married with Children. Peg is the character.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I remember they had a whole episode where they were all just trying to get through it. Because the cast was getting through it, too, because it was so sudden. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that it's rare. It's
Yeah.
Rare.
No, I'm not.
certainly
Yeah.
in a quote cartoon that was built for children.
Right. It's super rare, like a cartoon. It's like
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because it's teaching.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Happier stuff. When I first watched Rebels, it almost lost me because it's literally to me was
terrible.
Aladdin.
Right.
Yeah.
However, in the second part of that first 2 parts, so the second episode, technically, I guess, if you watch it on Disney Plus, but it's to me that's one episode.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
When Kanan reveals he's a Jedi, and he's trying to protect the Wookiees on Kessel, the Empire's with Agent Callus, and he just walks around and puts the lightsaber together and just turns it on, and it's just target the Jedi. Oh,
Yeah.
It's like that move that kept me in.
But the best part, the thing about Rebels, going back to all of our conversations over previous shows, is everything on Rebels is earned.
Everything.
Every moment is earned, and you build towards it, which is what episodic's supposed to do.
Right.
But everything is earned, and and it's earned in 30 minutes, so it doesn't matter. You don't need to follow the traditional TV format. Advertising format is essentially what we're talking about. It doesn't matter. So that's what also stands out to me, like looking back on Rebels, is every moment I got there, it earned itself. It earned that moment. I mean, Ahsoka obviously fighting Vader.
I was gonna say, I
is
was
like
thinking about it. Favorite episode would be that because
I've watched it multiple
there's
times.
Maul,
Yeah.
there's the Inquisitors, Vader, like
Vader,
all of them.
Vader's. Most people say Vader's greatest entrance is Rogue One, and it's great.
No way.
But
Vader
no.
riding on his
TIE
TIE fighter?
fighter
No
coming
way. That's
down
the greatest thing
with
of all
his
time.
dramatic ass making the Force flip of his cloak because there's no wind underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then his armor getting cut, and you see his eye,
Right.
like just that beautiful
Well,
stuff.
her assault
That's
when
the
she
episode where Kanan.
yeah
that's where he's blinded.
It's
It's a
Because it's the Malachor
Is it
arc.
Twilight?
Yeah, it's
Twilight of the Apprentice.
And
Part
it's
2.
like you blind a major character on a kid show.
Yeah.
You killed 3 antagonists.
Yep.
Right.
Off screen, babe, but like Maul kills 2 Inquisitors, like chops one's head
Yeah.
off, and you just kind of see it
Yeah.
Right.
off camera. But it's great how that
Like
how
in the
that-
shadow.
Yeah.
when it flies.
Right? Yeah, it's just it's great.
And then we're also led to believe that another main character is dead, at least for 2.
yeah, Ahsoka, we think
Right.
perishes, and
Technically, she does.
thank you, World Between Worlds.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And but I love that fight when she runs up and jumps on it. That's how she cuts his face.
Yep.
It's just, and then I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm no Jedi. Is
Yep.
epic.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's my favorite jam.
And then I'm not going to leave you. And
Right.
it's just like, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
and so that's great. Fantastic episode. And it ends kind of like how Empire does. It's kind of bleak, but it's still,
Yeah.
Have you gone back and watched her interaction with Maul on that?
Oh, yeah.
Versus-
Yeah, it's meant,
Does it
'cause-
complement the final?
yeah, they planned for it.
it
Yeah.
does.
Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it's like
that
Lady
was the
Tana.
plan the whole time. Yeah,
Because he's calling.
Where they're fighting on Mandalore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it complements it
Because
really
it was
well.
so many years. It was
Yeah.
2 or 3 years after. Right?
Yeah, they're smart. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
go back and they're so smart.
but going into Malachor, that's kind of the thing. One of the things I liked about Rebels is, as an Old Republic fan, they brought so much in.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they brought Malachor in. It's our first time seeing that in canon. Although now there's a new mystery of what that weapon is, and then they also brought in the Hammerhead ships because Leia
Yeah.
uses them.
Yeah, which was tied directly into Rogue One.
Yeah,
right.
Like her having those ships led to Rogue One.
Right,
It was
yeah,
like,
'cause-
oh my
Yeah,
god!
because Leia gets the ships and
and
Rebels.
it was timed out right.
Right.
You
Yep.
know, so like you saw that, and then you saw it, and
and then we
loved
also
it.
and we had the episodes with Saul as well that tied in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Saul that gave us
Right.
Forrest Whitaker and both Rogue One and
also explain the mystery to the Death Star.
Yep. It's just so good. It and I like Bad Batch. I'm curious where Bad Batch is going to go, but I don't have the same
I hope they keep the scope of that show small,
right. But I do like
just about the guys dealing with stuff.
right.
Yeah.
But I
I hope they show up in Mandalorian season 3, just to piss Drew off at this point.
I've already quit so many times.
and just like Godfather 3, we keep pulling you back in.
That's exactly.
and
right.
then she'd be like, "I'm Omega. I'm your little sister."
then I'm really quitting.
No, I'm in. I'm like, this is the best show ever.
Tamir Morrison in a wig.
Oh, wow. That sounds tragic.
That's how we do it. That's how we do it.
That's tragic on every front.
I am all for that.
Yeah.
So. Man, he looks rough as Boba Fett. I've seen side by sides. Like that star like really aged him.
Yep. Ate his face up.
That show does not age well.
But Rebels was great. I
Yes.
just want to
Yeah.
know.
It's been like 3 weeks.
Oh, also
It's like milk.
the code of that show is basically what I guess is going to be the plot of Ahsoka. So I can't wait to see that. So
Yeah.
and then that's a 4-year wait to get there. And so that coda is like probably one of my favorite things in the entire series because it sums it. Also another show that sums up everything pretty nicely.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this how kind of works out.
Right.
And so which unlike other Star Wars properties who are just like we're just soaked in tragedy all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's hopeful at the end. So
Right. Okay. So, if in 30 years there's a sequel 50 years after the fact, and we find out that all of the people that were supposed to have their happily ever after were shit on,
Right.
you'll be pissed.
absolutely.
Yep.
That's okay. Just saying.
So when I'm 74,
It's okay.
It's all right. Well, I'll be at the premiere with a cloak and his lightsaber.
Me too. I'll be right
His little walker, literally. You could have a walker that's a walker.
with you. Oh.
Walker,
put a
walker,
badge on
walker.
it?
Yes,
Texas Ranger.
we went all three. I got some Ozzy in there.
Because I'm Dynamite. Let's go 4.
Well done.
Moving on, so there's a couple other quick things. Bad Batch, speaking of which, was slated for the spring. Now it's moved on to, they don't know when it's going to release.
Yep.
For season 2.
Yeah.
So I was hoping it was going to be like May 4th, but looks like it's going to be later. Cassian Andor, his Twitter account got activated,
Interesting.
so it's up and running. They haven't tweeted anything, but it's available.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then so that's happening. Star Wars Eclipse. I want to talk about this real quick.
It's so doomed.
So have you seen
I would
the trailer for
actually-
Eclipse?
Is that the video game?
Yeah.
That's basically Apex.
Right.
With the
No,
bunny
no, that's Hunters.
No.
That's
The
Hunters.
trailer for Eclipse is there's a movie called Baraka, and which is a famous.
Yeah.
It's a famous art film, but like it's
not the dude
beautiful
from
cinematic.
Mortal
It's a
Kombat.
masterpiece. It's
Okay.
something
Yeah.
I watch a lot, and so this trailer is on that par of Star
Yeah.
Wars. It is.
I was thinking it was the dude from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
No.
not that guy.
Eclipse is the one that's being made by Quantic Dream, the guys that did Heavy Rain and all that type of stuff.
How have I missed this?
I don't know. 'Cause
Oh.
it's legendary.
Yeah, it's been out since December.
I made my entire team watch it.
It's a great trailer. For the audio section,
Did they give us an era that's supposed to be?
It's supposed to be High Republic,
It's supposed to be High Republic.
which was why I was excited.
Why can't we have cartoons like this?
so expensive
Just
to
budget,
render.
yeah.
It's just the render. I mean, the work is all there.
But it would make all the money. They'd make their money back on it.
Well, the game's not going to look like this.
No, the
No.
game's not going to look at it, but their cutscenes.
The cutscenes will, yeah.
This ties in a lot of Star Wars.
Yeah, you got Trade Federation and
Like, that is beautiful.
This is a Trade Federation guy.
yep.
New Gunray's grandpa.
Their ships are also there.
It almost has a feel of Chronicles of Riddick to it in
It
spots.
does look like
Yeah.
Chronicles. Oh.
The Lucre Hulk.
Yeah. The Lucre Hulks.
Right.
There's been some theories about who that is, but I guess it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, we're about to tell you what. You will be the greatest among the Urkai.
Yes.
All right, so that trailer looked freaking amazing, right?
Yeah.
We're never getting this game.
Nope.
Yeah, they canceled it.
No,
Caleb, you
worse. Worse. They basically said this game's not coming out for another 5 years because they have yet to hire anybody to make it,
No, I think they ran
or
into
at least the actual.
Yeah, they
team.
ran into, they have a team. They just don't have enough people to make
Yeah.
it. So I'm a bit of a gamer, not a hardcore gamer. So a long time ago, one of the greatest trailers I'd ever seen for any video game was for a game called Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
Right, and it had I forget. Maybe it was a Nirvana song, slow motion,
Yeah.
bullets, time type stuff, and this girl's arm transforms into a blade, and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm in. It was like that good, and then that game came out, and if you don't know the story, spoiler alert,
Yeah.
it's a pile of garbage.
Yeah.
It was at first at launch. I think they've fixed it.
It's too late though. You can't.
Well,
And
I'm not going to do
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but
community's there, but
It was such a big pile that they actually gave full refunds.
Yep.
So I bought the game and got a full refund.
Like even digital game fronts like the PlayStation Network and
I
Xbox.
bought a PSN and I got my money back from PSN.
And usually they don't give any refunds. You buy your game, you bought it.
And because it had so many problems, right? But that game was in this same thing. It kept getting pushed.
Yep.
And so it ended up, not to say that it couldn't get fixed,
right?
Yeah.
But you lose all the momentum, which means development goes away. That means there's no dollars left on development to keep it alive after the fact. So it's a short-liver.
Yeah. And the other problem is the development team that's making this game. Because their CEO is not a great person, and people don't like him. And,
yeah, I don't know enough about that side of it.
There's a lot of sexual harassment stuff, and So,
hey, look, CEOs, just be quiet. Don't say anything.
So, and unfortunately, this CEO is also the guy who basically wrote like all their well-known games.
I just think I don't know. The more I feel, I think it's a great trailer, but it's going to end up being a scam.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Lucasfilm Games is going to pull it and go, nope, you can't make this game.
So, but it looked cool.
So, looks cool for a minute.
Yeah, and this is why I think games should not have full-blown trailers until it's a year from release.
Yeah,
sure. Last two things. We had some losses in the Star Wars universe.
Yep.
Alan Ladd Jr. passed away this past week. Do anyone know who Alan Ladd Jr. is?
I'm going to say book author.
You should know who Alan Ladd Jr. is.
Well,
cinematographer.
No. He was the executive at 20th Century Fox. He was running 20th Century Fox. He's the one who got Lucas in.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Lucas found him and was like, "Hey, I got this pitch for this
that's
idea."
right.
Yep.
And he goes, "Cool, right as a treatment." He's the one who greenlit Star Wars.
Yeah.
Without him, there's no Star Wars.
Yep.
Or Star Wars is at Paramount. Or
no, because it got dropped. Nobody wanted it.
Right, nobody wanted it, so he picks it up. So he also,
I guess we also wouldn't have
and
Wizards without him.
Which one?
We wouldn't have Wizards without him either. The animated Mark Hamill's first voice acting job. It's
true. Actually, his first voice acting job was the I Dream of Genie
Oh
cartoon.
yeah, well, film voice acting.
Yeah, but we got Alien out of his tenure.
Yep.
And so there's that. He also won an Oscar for producing Braveheart.
Yep.
He also produced Police Academy, and so
I like those movies.
right.
Yeah.
So he's had a wonderful career. The author though was Tom Veitch, who wrote Star Wars: Dark Empire, the trilogy for that. Empire 2.
That was my favorite.
Oh, yes, the best
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Why could we have had that sequel?
Yeah. I mean, he also was the hand in some of the Tales of the Jedi stuff along with Kevin J. Anderson.
Absolutely. And so so just a couple of losses we wanted to note in our universe. I love Dark Empire, man. It's such there's a great, you can get the audio drama on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Because I had it on cassette because it wasn't available on CD.
Yeah.
And so I had it on cassette for years and it broke since I found it on YouTube. I listened to it a couple of months ago. It's really
the artwork, if I remember correctly, all the artwork for the comic book, the graphic novel adaptation, was all Drew Struzan. So
Dave Dorman did the covers.
Was it Dorman?
Yeah, Dorman does the covers. Yeah.
Never mind then.
No, but
I have somewhere metal cards of all of those.
Yeah, actually, no, you gave those to me. They're somewhere over there.
I gave them to Scotty.
I have them over there.
I had them.
Yeah, but those are all Dave Dorman covers, and they're great and great. Story about Luke trying to destroy the dark side of the Force from within, so he joins the dark side. The Emperor's back as a clone.
That's a bunch of clones.
A bunch of clones. I wonder where they got that idea from.
Yep.
And Billy D. Williams was in the audio drama playing Lando, and Lando and Wedge keep crashing Star Destroyers, and that introduces the Eclipse class Star Destroyer that has a Death Star laser on it.
Yep.
And the World Eaters that come in and destroy planets and stuff. It's pretty cool. And TIE fighters, they're robotic TIE fighters with TIE fighter pilot brains. And it's a cool series.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolute
Leia
chaos.
has Anakin in that one.
Yeah. Yes, because the
she
twins
had-
were already born.
Yeah, the twins were. She has the third son in that.
Yeah, so
the one they quickly killed because we couldn't have too many Anakins running around.
Yeah.
Caleb looked personally hurt by that. That's why.
Yeah, he did.
Kind of looked.
Well,
At least they
I
didn't
feel
drop a moon
bad.
on him.
Well, yeah. Well, he got to witness that moon,
I know.
and he also took responsibility for
You know when
that.
Chewie dies somewhere there
Yeah.
too?
Yeah,
No,
that's
the
what
moon
we're
got
talking
a
about.
moon dropped on
yeah,
him.
Yeah.
and Anakin.
Ari Salvatore created Dritz Stewart and kills
Yeah.
Chewbacca with a moon.
Yeah, and poor Anakin and Han had to watch it, and they both blamed themselves.
Yep.
I think that's good enough for a show. We've done a lot. We've talked a lot. We've covered a whole bunch. So I'm just going to call it at. This is our contribution to the multiverse. God, make yours, and may the force be with you.
I knew you were going to say that.
This is the way.
I just got nope.
General Kenobi.
I think he's spoken Hadith.